Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about exercises that you can do to build intimacy in your couple. What's so nice about doing these kinds of exercises is that if you're having trouble in your relationship or you just feel like you need a boost, these are ways to build intimacy in your couple that are positive without talking about problems, without talking about what's missing. Just doing these exercises to create connection is really pleasant, creates trust, and just a beautiful feel between the two of you. Now, before we start, I just want to remind you to click the subscribe button if you haven't done so before, or to click the notification bell to be notified every time there is a new video. So let's get into the different exercises that you can do at home. The first one that you can do, and first let's just go over why these exercises are good. They build trust within the couple. They allow, some of them allow touch, some of them allow gazing, some of them just create a more peaceful experience with one another, or connection relying on other types of senses or experiences. So the first exercise I want to encourage you to do is one that's a Q&A, where you ask each other different types of intimate questions. So for example, if you could have 3 wishes from me, what would they be? And each of you would ask each other this question. Listen to the response without interrupting, and then give the second partner the chance to ask the same question. Another example of a question would be, what can I do to make you feel more loved? What can I do to make you feel more loved? Again, one person will ask, the other one will listen without interruption, and then the other person will ask and answer. And the reason we don't want to interrupt is because we really want to give a space for the other person to express themselves without interruption. Now, afterwards, you can play with this. You could ask questions afterwards to understand better. You could repeat back what you've heard to make sure that you've understood, but really trying to make this an experience where it's more about listening and understanding than about debating or being too picky in the way you listen to each other, so that it really creates a space for deep listening and connection. Make sure that when you do this, not only are you taking the turns and listening to each other deeply, but you're looking in each other's eyes. You're paying attention to each other's body language. You're really just getting to learn about each other. If there's another question that you prefer, that you both agree upon, that you both feel would be a helpful question, then try that question. Okay, the next exercise that you can do is called soul gazing. So soul gazing would be that each of you takes a deep breath, and you sit staring across from each other, either on the floor, on your bed, in a comfortable and intimate, quiet position where it's just the two of you with the door closed. No pets are going to interrupt, no kids are going to interrupt, no phone calls, turn your phones off, no phones, and you sit, you put a timer, and you sit in a comfortable position. You can have your feet touching, you can be holding hands while you do it or not, whatever's more comfortable for you, and you just sit and look into each other's eyes for 5 entire minutes. Now this exercise can be a bit intimidating for a lot of people, because sitting in silence and just looking at each other and being fully present to each other in the emotion can bring up all kinds of emotions: embarrassment, happiness, anger, sadness, love, overwhelm, because you'll be deeply looking into each other's souls and being present with each other, completely vulnerable. So this type of exercise really creates a beautiful bond and peacefulness between you without talking, and it allows you to connect to that part of each other that just loves and sees one another without the mind jumping in too much, without thoughts or conflict or everything outside of the relationship jumping in. The next exercise is called music and hugs. go ahead and create a playlist together. I would suggest doing 6 songs. Each of you gets to choose 3 songs for the playlist, and choose songs that are meaningful, intimate, peaceful for each of you. Songs that, love songs, calm songs, intimate songs that will really put you in this mood and mode of connection. And then go ahead and put yourself in a space where it's just the 2 of you lying on your bed with the door closed. Put your playlist on. Make sure there's no phone calls going to be taken or anybody going to be interrupting you. And while you're listening to these songs, either hold hands, hug, or tickle and look at each other in the eyes during the full spectrum of the 6 songs. Avoid talking. Make it just about simple touch, pleasant touch, and enjoying the music and touch together to create this beautiful environment and really enjoy. If you really like this exercise, you can even go up to as much as 8 songs, 4 songs each. Play around with this and do it more than once. And I think that you'll find that it definitely brings a new dimension to your relationship. And finally, the last exercise I'm going to recommend today is a poetry read. Each of you go or remember or bring 3 poems each that you really like and that you really enjoy. It can be any kind of poem. And once you've both found your 3 poems, put yourself in a relaxing space. It could be sitting on your sofa, it could be sitting on the floor, it could even be at a table, and just designate who will go first, and let the first person go ahead, and that person will just read their 3 poems while the other person listens. And when you read these poems to your partner, look in their eyes, go slowly, take your time. The person that's listening will not be making comments or critiques or anything. They will just be listening to the poem, looking in your eyes, and just enjoying the poem. And then you can go to the other person and switch roles, where the other person also gets to listen to the poems. Now, at the very end, you can explore doing this in different ways. You can do it where there's no commentary and you just enjoy listening to each other's poems, or you can make space and room for discussing the poems and talking about specifically what you liked about the poem and what you enjoyed about the poem. We want to keep this exercise really positive, so really try and focus and express what you liked about the exercise to each other and what you liked about each other's poems, or what you learned from each other's poems about each other and about the poems. Now, I want to encourage you to take this concept and create your own intimacy exercises. Perhaps you can sit and do a puzzle together. Perhaps you can cook together, each with a glass of wine and with some romantic music. All the exercise really needs to be is about spending quality time together, doing something pleasant that doesn't necessarily involve, a lot of conversation, more about energetically being together, feeling each other's presence, feeling each other's intimacy in a way that's disconnected perhaps from the rest of your other day activities. If you know a couple or have friends that might enjoy this video, make sure to share it with them. Also, if you have any intimacy exercises that you've tried that you could share in the comment section, I would definitely love to hear about your exercises. And don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell if you want to be notified of any new videos or subjects that are coming up. Wishing you a blessed and very intimate day.